Welcome to Overdrive AF, the official podcast of Overdrive Fitness. My name is Teddy Gerzon, and I'm joined by Gina Marie Gerzon.
What's up?
Take 3, and that worked perfectly. Yes, there is a God.
Oh, good.
So, welcome to Overdrive AF, the podcast episode number 168, and this is our first one of 2024. So we're starting off the year with a bang, and I definitely did, because this morning I served jury duty. I got called in for jury duty. I did not think that was going to happen. Last I spoke to someone from the county, they said, "Oh, don't worry about it. You're not going to get called. We never start a case in the middle of a week. It usually starts on a Monday. Tuesday, no call. Wednesday, I get fucked." But not that bad, right?
Considering everything, you were in and out pretty quickly if you think about what could have happened.
Absolutely. So, long and short, we went through the whole process. I watched the bullshit videos about being unbiased and, and it's our duty to serve. It's my duty to serve our country that doesn't give a shit about its citizens, but that can be a whole nother episode one day. More of a rant. And as we actually sat down for jury selection, they've had us in the room. They're about to start calling numbers. The attorney settled. So I got to get the fuck out, and now I'm good for about 6 or 7 years, I think, federally.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Then I think it's 4 federal and 7 local. So I am off the hook with that. So thank God.
You did your civil duty.
I did my civil duty. Yeah. Which meant I had to have a smaller breakfast, which also pissed me off. I ate a Quest bar when I really wanted to have my smoothie. So
With your spinach.
With my spinach. Because I'm a big Popeye fan.
And your banana.
Yes.
And your peanut butter.
And oatmeal.
And your oatmeal.
And Prestige Labs vanilla ice cream protein powder. And almond milk. So I look forward to that every day. Oh, and then I put the Walden Farms caramel syrup in there, too.
You're so fancy.
I am fucking fitness bougie.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so here we are. And what we want to talk about today, actually, is something that came up in one of those bullshit videos that I had to watch. And it's a topic that we've discussed briefly in other episodes, but it was never a main topic. And we want to talk about unconscious competence, right? So it really should be your ultimate goal with almost anything, especially anything that you feel it will help you lead a successful life, right? So just to give a brief overview, there's 4 levels to it, right? So the bottom level, right, is unconscious incompetence. Next one up is conscious competence. Conscious incompetence, right? Third one up would be conscious competence, and then the final one that you want to achieve is unconscious competence, right? So just to go over it again briefly, the bottom one, unconscious incompetence, it means you're so bad at something that you don't even know it, right? Then the next one up is conscious incompetence, where you're aware of how bad you are at something, right? So basically, it could be anything. Maybe
you realize you're fucking up, and you realize it's a bad habit, or it's not the most appropriate thing, but you still carry it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Conscious competence is when you know you're doing something well, but you have to think about it, and thinking about it instead of reacting to it is a much slower process, whereas the unconscious competence, the ultimate goal, you're just doing,
you're
reacting, you're in the flow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So as far as athletes, we see it all the time.
It's second nature.
Yeah. Like, for instance, I've had several athletes that were great in the weight room, great on the training floor, on the turf, doing their agility drills. But you throw them into a game situation and they freeze because they're overthinking, they're overanalyzing instead of just playing, right? An example, we're going to hop around though, but an example of unconscious incompetence would be like saying, oh, I didn't realize, or like, I don't know why I'm gaining so much weight. I only have 6 beers a night, right? Whereas the next one up, conscious incompetence, is like, yeah, I should really cut out the beer, but I'm not. I'm not actually not doing it right now. So that's why I'm not losing weight.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So conscious competence from there would be, all right, I definitely cut the beer out, but now it's like maybe it's like really starting to bother you. You can't stop thinking about it instead of just living your life. You're distracted. Right. And the unconscious incompetence is like, holy shit, I went a whole week without beer. Let's get fucked up this weekend. Right. So, or let's replace those calories with pizza. That's one of my favorite things to do. So,
or just not putting it on the list when you go grocery shopping, or, instead of going out for the beer and meeting up with your friend.
A shot at me.
No, I'm. No, well, we like our lists. I know that. But sometimes we need to stray from the list, and sometimes you forget to put things on the list.
Yes.
But I think where we were going to was that replacing that behavior, that conscious behavior, even though it's not appropriate or healthy or the best for the situation, is when we say, okay, I still want to go out with my friends, I still want to meet up with everybody, I still want to socialize, but instead of getting fucking plastered or drinking until I can't carry myself home or whatever the case, then you know what, I want to go out with everybody, I want to hang out, it's important to be social, but I'm just going to have whatever I'm going to have. Something non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
Or, going over to somebody's house and bringing your own food. And maybe somebody wants to join you with that. I don't know. There's ways around it. What's the best decision that you can make? Like, I think at that point, you're already making those best decisions for yourself. It becomes so second nature. The habit has become so ingrained in you that it's just like anything else. Your alarm goes off, you get up, you put your feet on the ground, you go use the bathroom, you brush your teeth, you take a shower, you eat your breakfast, or your breakfast was packed from the night before, or whatever the case. You get in your car, you leave 15 minutes early for work, make sure that you're getting there 15 minutes ahead of time, your clothes are laid out before you, kids' lunches are packed, everybody's on the bus, like everything is, it's in flow. So.
And then, like, I'd like to talk about it on a athletic level, right?
Oh, okay.
So right now, I mean, because it can be applied to so many different things, right? So as far as the athletic side of it, the unconscious competence, it would be like, let's say football. You have a game coming up Friday night, and you did the work Monday through Thursday. You watched all the film you were supposed to. You took notes. You picked up on cues. You're aware of situations where you need to, let's say, key the fullback or watch for the flats, check for specific packages coming into the huddle, right? And then since you've already repped all that out through the entire week, not only mentally but physically, when the game comes, it's almost like everything around you is moving slower, because you're so far ahead, right? You're literally just playing and reacting, as opposed to just being like, holy shit, there's trips bunched to my side of the field. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here, right? And then you start saying to yourself, okay, wait, no, I think I saw this on film. I think I'm supposed to do this. Okay, I'm going to dip out into the flat. I have the number one receiver. By the time all that happens, you already got beat, right? So unconscious competence would be like the greatest football players to ever play, especially on defense, like a Mike Singletary, a Ray Lewis, an LT, Luke Kuechly, anybody that processes information super fast, even on the other side, like Tom Brady, right? It's
seeing things before they happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. The Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman.
Yes.
That's literally what it is.
So that's why achieving that should be the ultimate goal in almost anything you do, right? Because now when you've repped out so many things like that, it's almost like things become stressless since you're just reacting and playing, right? One thing that brought that up was when I was watching those bullshit videos, this came up, and it really sparked my interest in it, because I was like, That's a great point, and it makes so much sense. So the point they made in one of the videos was the unconscious mind processes 11 million pieces of information per second, whereas the conscious mind can only process up to 40 pieces of information per second.
Mm.
Right? So it's like you practice, 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 practice. You instill certain habits, things are just going to happen, right? So, I mean, that's pretty much the difference right there between people that can flip the switch, turn it on, and turn it back off, right? So, there's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes into becoming great,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't become great without putting in that work. So, once you achieve greatness in anything, it just naturally occurs, right? So,
And I think a lot of that comes too with every little thing, every little step that we take throughout the day, and even during our subconscious time when we sleep. So I think that that's also part of it. It's literally everything from getting your nighttime rituals down, shutting off the screens, getting into that relaxation mode, maybe putting on your pajamas, dimming the lights. What do I need for recovery? That kind of thing, allowing your conscious mind to settle. And that's actually what happens if we can go back to sleep for a second for unconscious competence, is when we shift from your light sleep into your REM sleep. And like if people are ever having dreams where you can't move and you're kind of like stuck in a position, you can't run, you can't fly, you can't whatever, you're stuck there. That's because your body puts you in that comatose state so that it can do the work that it needs to do. So your unconscious mind is actually working really hard at repairing you, at going over memories, at saving memories, reviewing the day, issues that you had, things that you are working on while you're sleeping. So it's preparation throughout that 24-hour period. So I think that it has a lot to do with every little thing, every little step that we take, even the steps that we don't know that we're taking. It's because it's unconscious, it's subconscious, because you're not specifically aware of what's going on. It's just part of your nightly routine. So I actually think that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing how savvy your body is, and how it's just magnificent. Your brain and your spinal cord, your central nervous system.
Yeah, it's our bodies are. It's really a complex system of subsystems. It's just amazing how they all work together.
That's so true.
Yeah. And like, you may be asking yourself, all right, so how do I achieve this unconscious goal with overdrive, right? So, one thing that we love to hit home with is applying, like, basically setting this goal up in as far as your nutrition. That's one of the main things we're coaching you on, right? So, I mean, we can go back to the way diets were, 20, 25 years ago. Wow, just dated myself. But, where everyone was like, all right, breakfast, I have to have 4 egg whites with one slice of whole wheat toast and 8 ounces of orange juice. And then you move on to lunch, where it's like, you have to have 5 ounces of turkey breast on 2 slices of whole wheat bread. You can only use mustard. And then you move on to dinner, where it's half a cup of brown rice, grilled chicken to where it's dry as fuck, and you can only have 6 ounces of it, and then 1 cup of broccoli, right? And then you're constantly only thinking about that all day, like, okay, it's dinner time, I gotta grab fucking blah blah blah. And like, that's, yeah, you're doing yourself a favor, you're putting yourself in a calorie deficit, you're grabbing great foods, but you're only eating specific things, and you're only looking for those things. Whereas what we like to teach is like, okay, yes, so we can get you to those like, for example, you have a goal of hitting 1,700 calories a day and 120 grams of protein. We're going to make sure that you get that in those specific meals. So that's so old school. And like, what we like to teach is more of the unconscious way of achieving all that, to where it's like, doesn't matter if you only have time for 2 meals and 1 snack, or you can get 3 whole meals in with 2 snacks, or 4 large meals and 1 snack, or however your day may add up.
Mm-hmm.
We like to instill these habits into you so you are hitting your protein goal, your calorie goal, your carb and fat goal without actually realizing it, because it's so natural, right? And that's the unconscious competence when it comes to nutrition, right? So it's when people are constantly making the right food decisions, health decisions,
The best decisions.
the best decisions that, obviously will lead them to a successful, healthy body, but it's you're just doing. You're not even thinking. Like, you see food in front of you, you know exactly what you need to grab.
And it's also that connection. I mean, I know I feel like a lot of the people that have a good amount of clout in our industry and have a great following because they know their shit and they've been doing it for decades, and there's tons of research behind what they do. They read the research, they're meticulous about the results and the evidence, and they promote those results. But I think that it's about that mind-muscle connection to an extent where being in the flow and being unconscious about it and being competent about the fact that you're making the best decision for yourselves. What does it feel like to be in the flow? Because you feel you're at your best. There is no, I feel like shit, or, I left the gym feeling like, I didn't put out 100% effort. I got enough sleep. Like, everything is very much just, I can't even say a better word. It's being in the flow. I feel like, your central nervous system, like we always say, it doesn't know good or bad. It just knows stress. But I think the chemicals that we produce, the neurotransmitters, all those great hormones that we produce in conjunction with being in the flow allows us to stay there. As opposed when we're so disrupted because we're not making the best decision that we can for ourselves. It becomes so ingrained in us and such a habit that you don't know any other way because it just works so well for you. And it's not a streak anymore. It just becomes a way of life. There's no highs and lows. It is. It is.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Oh, wow. You liked something I said?
I like everything you
Wow. Said. Okay. I got a little distracted because you were on your phone. I was trying to stay in focus of what I had in my mind.
I was trying to make sure we covered all the points that I want to talk about. And then I got slightly distracted because I realized the phone ringing in the background was FedEx. We just missed a delivery.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, they said they were going to be here before noon, so.
Okay.
It's an hour past that, so.
Oh, so they're not in the flow today.
They kind of fucked up.
They're not in the flow today. They're not in their unconscious competence.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, those are all, I guess you could say we just covered some great examples of, what we're looking to achieve as far as unconscious competence, right? Making that the ultimate goal for everything. I'm trying to think of other ones, but I think we covered it all.
And I think also being in the flow is, from an athletic standpoint too, I think is when the play doesn't happen. Say if there's something that is not under that control, we can't control certain things, we can control the controllables, as they say. I think also you can see a great player and a great team is when they can reconvene, pick up from where they left off. Whatever just happened is over, and they can continue to move forward and reclaim that flow. Yeah. I think that's also part of that unconscious competence too, is when you not only move as a player or as a leader, like quarterback leader, but I think also being able to reconvene and continue to move forward and bring that flow back as a team. Because you see that happen all the time. right?
Absolutely. I mean, I can think of one athlete that I know catches a lot of flack. We were speaking about him recently.
Mm-hmm.
In my eyes, one of the best baseball players of all time, right? On the field. Maybe as a person or his personality may rub people the wrong way, but Alex Rodriguez,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So, and there's plenty of examples where he showed this. Now, I know people love to say, oh, all his numbers are tainted because of steroids. The work he put into his baseball career, that is what made him such a great player, right? The steroids didn't make him unconsciously competent at knowing when pitchers were tipping certain pitches, right? There's a reason why someone like that, who served a suspension, came back, got plunked by the same pitcher twice up in Boston, was able to still keep it together, and then drill a straightaway dead center home run to kind of just say to everyone at Fenway, fuck you, I'm still the best.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So unless you're so good at everything you do, especially at that level, you'll never be able to achieve that. Right? You're in enemy territory. It's a hostile environment. Everybody hates you. And you still are able to punch them right in the throat and just say, fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I love that. I love that about his career. There are plenty of athletes that are the same, where you could see things just come so natural. But, it's I think a lot of people refuse to believe and forget about the work that they put into their talent, into their skill set, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, being that, and then tying that back, going back to like the nutrition sense, when people, we all know someone that's like, they can eat whatever they want and they still have they still have an amazing body, right? Well, when you can eat whatever you want, right, it's that is unconscious competence while still having an amazing body, right? Because you put in the work to be able to eat what you want,
Mm-hmm.
right? And for what people
Marco.
don't, Marco.
I wanted to bring him up too. Go ahead.
Yeah, no,
Keep
go
going.
for it.
No, but I think Marco is a great example, and I think it's been over a year now, and he's continued, and he's still losing weight. I hate saying just losing weight. He's continuing to get leaner. He maintains his strength, and he's getting stronger at the leanness that he's at. So I think that that's important to stress that too, is that unconscious competence of he's had vacations. He's had trips away with now his wife. So he just got married. They just got married. Just different occasions, the holidays. There's always going to be a wrench thrown in, right? Things are going to try to throw you off your game in life, in a match, on the field, life itself. Shit hits the fan. Who gets sick, there's traffic, weather crazy, like, shit's always going on.
Mm-hmm.
I think being able to bring yourself back to center and, again, pausing between the moments and actually seeing things before they happen, really connecting with yourself, and it's not just a spiritual thing, but I think just innately as a human being, we have so much power and so much magic within us that we can actually do this. We just have to connect to it. So that's really what's happening on the field. I think people don't realize how in touch with who they are as an athlete and what they are as a being, as a human being, so connected to their body and connected in general with energy too, energetically, that there is no stop and go. It's just left, right, back, forth, side to side, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
front to back. You become so connected with what's going to happen, not just what's happening in the moment, but in between those moments and what's going to happen next, and what are you going to do 2 and 3 steps ahead of that. So you always have, in a sense, a fallback plan, because you're always prepared. And Marco has been amongst, so many other of our members. They've really, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But Marco has been able to maintain, continue to lean out, continue to get stronger. Habits have been instilled with, like, he's so habitual now. Again, like it's so unconscious. And his wife Sarah has become such a student of his, in a sense, that she's here with him. She knows that she needs to eat. She knows she needs to eat after her workout. She knows what she needs to eat. She knows she has to get some cardiovascular activity in conjunction with her strength training. She knows strength training is such a priority. They know they need to get their sleep, and even if they don't get all of their sleep, they're here. They get their training in. Like, it's so habitual now, they don't even have to think about it anymore. And they still get to enjoy their time together, go out with friends, get married, enjoy the holidays, go on trips. This is life.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And that's how he was able to not only lose like 80 pounds of fat, but keep it off.
And keep it off and keep his lean mass and build on that. Build on that. That is huge. It's not just about losing weight. Oh my gosh, anybody could just lose weight. Focus on the fine points. The things that are going to... This is longevity here.
So you mean it's possible to lose that much weight and not have to jab yourself with some bullshit pen like a Wegovy or something like that?
Which now the research is showing 75 to 90% of those using these pharmaceuticals gain all the weight back and more. So, and a lot of what they're losing is muscle mass too. They're not just losing quote unquote body weight. Part of that weight is muscle mass, and it's very hard to get that back, especially if you're not strength training. And unfortunately, with the people, that are using these injectables, these GLP-1 agonists, they don't strength train.
No.
They don't even exercise, which is pretty sad, but whatever. Maybe they walk, I don't know, which is wonderful, but you got to do more than that.
Yeah, I personally love pumping iron, so I can stuff my face with burgers and pizza whenever I want. But I guess that's just me.
And another huge Australian study that they just completed too, Lane Norton was talking about this, is that women, I think 60s and above, had never weightlifted before, were all diagnosed with either osteoporosis, osteopenia, or both. They were given a basic, just some strength training guidelines, weren't really even given much coaching. These women were deadlifting, picking up barbells, picking up dumbbells, strength training. All of these women were able to not just maintain, but build upon. This is the most important thing that you can do. And again, it's all about unconscious competence, right?
Yes.
Is building on these habits where it was looked down upon, and now it is the epitome of longevity, strength training, resistance training. Let it become the unconscious competent habit, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry, we're getting off topic. Go ahead.
No. It all ties in. But again, it's that is the ultimate goal. Unconscious competence. If you feel like you need help to be pushed in the right direction so you can achieve that, you know how to reach us, right? You can DM us on Instagram, Facebook, I believe through YouTube. I think you can do that now. I don't know. But
It's so fancy.
You know how to find us. Reach out to us. Love to sit you down for a free consultation and go over how we can create your own customized plan so you can be successful with yourself, right? Anything else to add?
That's it.
That's it. I don't even know if we're allowed to reference that anymore. That guy may have been canceled
Why?
because he was making fun of a man acting as a woman before it became a normal thing.
Well, you know how many movies are out there that
No,
now I guess are going to be canceled or
Yeah.
would be canceled for
Rob
the
Schneider,
same
a hot chick.
instance? That's... Oh, goodness gracious. Here we go. Offending someone. I don't know.
So that's all we have for you this week on Overdrive AF. We'll catch you next week for another episode. Stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in, and we're out. Peace.